Good morning, students. Welcome you all in the class of History Civics. Today, I am going to start a new topic from its civics syllabus, and that is the Union Legislature. So, Union Legislature means the law-making body of the country. And in our country, law-making body is called the Parliament. So, today in this chapter, we will know about the Parliament in detail. Okay, so let us start about the Union Parliament. So this Union Parliament has three components or constituents. Okay, first the President of the Union, the Lok Sabha, which is also known as the lower house or the House of the People, and third one is Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha, which is called the upper house or the Council of States. These are the three constituents of Union Parliament. It can be asked in the short question answer, so you have to learn it. Okay, now children, in our country we have a bicameral legislature. Bicameral legislature means it has the two houses. Upper house means Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and the lower house means Lok Sabha. Okay. In our country, we have bicameral legislature. Means in our country, Parliament has two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Okay, this is clear to you. Now, listen, children. Lok Sabha, the lower house, represents the people of India. Okay, and Rajya Sabha, the upper house, represents the Indian states and union territories. Okay, now children, the president, as I told you, the president is also the integral part of Union Parliament, though he is not a member of any house of the Parliament, yet he is an integral part of the Parliament. Why? Why is it so? So listen, there are certain reasons for it. For example, first reason, president addresses either house or both the houses. He or she may send messages to the parliament whenever required, and certain bills like money bill require president's prior approval before their introduction in the house. And the last reason, no bill passed by the parliament can become a law unless it is signed by the president. So these are the reasons for which president is called, he is known as an integral part of the parliament. I think should be clear to you. Okay, if any confusion, you can ask me in the live class tomorrow. Okay, now let us know about the composition of Lok Sabha. So Lok Sabha, which is also known as the House of the People, just it gives representation to the people, the Indian citizen who elects its members directly. Okay, so Lok Sabha, it is composed of the representatives of the people, and these representatives are elected by the adult citizens, by the adult people of the country. And the constitution just has mentioned it clearly that the maximum strength of this house will be 545. Okay, 552, sorry. 552 is the maximum number of members which is decided by the constitution. So among them, 530 members represent the states, 20 members represent the union territories, and not more than 2 members, they represent the Anglo-Indian community. If they are not elected, then president can nominate 2 members from Anglo-Indian community. Okay, and at present the strength of this house means at present the strength of Lok Sabha is 545 members. But the maximum strength is 552. So remember the maximum strength and remember the strength at present also. Okay. So this is the composition of Lok Sabha. The maximum strength will be 552. Among them 530 represent Indian states. Okay. Then 20 represent union territories and 2 represent the Anglo-Indian community. Okay, now let us know about the reservation of seats. Now, in order to give equal political opportunity to all, some seats have been reserved for SC ST categories. Okay, so in Lok Sabha 84 seats are reserved for scheduled caste, means SC category, and 47 seats are reserved for scheduled tribes, means ST categories. Now let us know about its election, the election of the representatives. So the members of Lok Sabha are directly elected on the basis of universal adult franchise. Okay, it means any voter, any citizen of India who has attained 18 years of age can give his or her vote without any discrimination, without any difference made on the basis of caste, creed, color, religion, or sex. Okay, if any citizen, any person of India who has attained 18 years of age or above, then he is eligible to cast his or her vote in the general elections. Okay, and this is called the universal adult franchise. So the meaning of this term universal adult franchise should also be clear to you. It can be asked in the short question answer. It is important. Okay, now let us know one more term, that is the secret ballot. So secret ballot, actually it is a system of voting where the voter's choice is not revealed, means whom the voter has cast his or her vote. It is not shown, it is not known to anyone except the voter. And this secret ballot, I think the term is clear. This is a system of voting where the voter only knows to whom, to which party candidate he or she has given the vote. No other one can know about this fact. And the whole country is divided into equal number of electoral areas, and these electoral areas are called constituencies. So now, after knowing this much about the Lok Sabha and its election, now let me tell you about the qualifications for its membership. Means if any one of us, if any person of India, he or she wants to become a member of Lok Sabha, then what type of qualifications he or she requires? So listen, the person should be an Indian citizen. He should be at least 25 years of age. His name should be in the electoral roll of the country, of his area. He should not be an insolvent, means he or she should not be in debt. Okay, and should have the ability to meet his financial commitments. He should have just some good means of earning his livelihood. He should not be in debt. Okay, उस पर किसी तरह कोई कर्ज नहीं होना चाहिए. Okay, he should not hold any office of profit under the government. He should not be in government job. Okay, and the person should not be a proclaimed criminal. Okay, and his mind should be healthy. He should not possess the unsound mind. Okay, so these are the qualifications which are required to become the member of Lok Sabha. Now let us discuss about the tenure or the duration of the house. So normally the members of Lok Sabha, they are elected for the term of 5 years. So Lok Sabha also is the Lok Sabha's tenure is also 5 years, but it can be extended for another year during emergency. If national emergency is proclaimed in the country, at that time 1 year tenure can be extended. And but what is the condition? But fresh elections to Lok Sabha must be held within 6 months of the revocation of emergency. As soon as the emergency is revoked, immediately after that, within 6 months, the fresh elections will be held. This is the condition. And apart from it, the president can dissolve the Lok Sabha even before the expiry of its normal term, that is the 5 years. Lok Sabha can be dissolved before completing its tenure of 5 years. When a no confidence motion is passed against the government. Okay, and it can also be dissolved on the advice of president. Whenever the prime minister advises the president to dissolve it, dissolve Lok Sabha, then on the Prime Minister's advice, President can dissolve Lok Sabha before the expiry of its full 5-year term. So this is the tenure or duration of the House. Normally, Lok Sabha is elected for a term of 5 years. Okay, but these are the some conditions like general emergency, okay, or the advice of the Prime Minister. Now, let us know about the sessions of the House and the maximum gap between the two sessions. So, session means the period during which the House meets to conduct its business. When the members of the House, they assembles together to conduct the business of the House, that is known as the session. So, sessions of each of the House of Parliament are summoned, are called by the President, whether it is Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Okay, so the sessions are summoned by the President, and President convenes the session on the advice of the Council of Ministers at any time, but a period of more than 6 months must not lapse between two sessions of Lok Sabha. Means President just can start the session at any time on the advice of the Council of Ministers, but he has to remember what, that there should not be a gap of more than 6 months between the two sessions of the Parliament of Lok Sabha. Between the two sessions, the gap should not be more than 6 months. Means two sessions in a year are necessary to be held, and Parliament normally it has 3 or 4 sessions: summer session, monsoon session and winter session. So 3 sessions are normally held: summer session February to May, monsoon session July to September, and winter session November December. So these are normally the 3 sessions, but 2 sessions are necessary to be held. Okay, this were all about the sessions. So sessions means meetings which are organized to conduct the business of the House. Now let us know about the next important term, and that is the quorum. So quorum is the minimum number of members required to be present before a meeting is allowed to begin. Quorum means the minimum number of members that is required to start to begin the meeting of the House. So for Lok Sabha, 1/10 quorum is decided. Means the presence of 1/10 members is required to conduct the business of the House. Suppose there are 45 members. Okay, so at least 55 members should be present to conduct the business of the House. In absence of the required quorum, the House can be adjourned. Okay. Now, let us know about the salary and allowances. So, a member of Parliament gets a salary of 50,000 per month. Apart from it, he or she gets an allowance of 2,000 per day and other benefits. Okay, 50,000 salary per month, 2,000 allowance per day when the session is going on, and other benefits. She also gets a pension of rupees 8,000 per month. Okay, and under the local area development scheme, each member of Parliament may suggest to the district collector works to the tune of rupees 5 crore per year to be taken up in his constituency. For the developmentary work, he or she gets just sum of rupees 5 crore per year. Okay, and the salary of the member is determined by the Parliament and is drawn from the Consolidated Fund of India. Now, today's last topic, let us know about the languages which are used in Lok Sabha. So, in Parliament, the business is transacted in Hindi or English. A speaker of Lok Sabha or the chairman of Rajya Sabha may allow a member to speak in his or her mother tongue if he has some difficulty to speak in Hindi or English. But normally Hindi and English, they are the languages in which business is transacted in the Parliament. For today, It is sufficient. Go through this video. Well, if any query, you can ask me in tomorrow's live class. Till then, have a good day.